Welcome. So if you're watching this lecture, this video, um, it would mean that you are a graduate of pharmacy. You're a graduate in pharmacy and you have graduated from universities in India. And that would be the reason why you are attempting to write this exam. So what is GPAT? GPAT is an acronym for the Graduate Pharmacy Aptitude Test. So this test assumes that you are a graduate in pharmacy and you have completed the course of study and you're an aspiring candidate for doing the post-graduation. So if you want to do post-graduation, the professional competence is needed, and an aptitude is required for a potential person to undergo post-graduation. And hence, one needs to write the graduate pharmacy aptitude test. So it's very important to remember that you are a graduate in pharmacy. So this test is not expecting you to study the entire syllabus of pharmacy. It already assumes that you have a knowledge. Okay? So that's the thing that one needs to get out of one's mind, that studying for a GPAT test is the same as studying for a B.Pharmacy course. It's not. Okay? So once that is out of the way, let's look at this. What we are going to cover in this strategy session. Okay? So we're going to learn how to optimize our study. Okay? So we have a paucity of time. So time is less. Time is at premium. And this strategy is basically to optimize our study in the limited period of time. And how do we go about that? That's what this lecture, this presentation is all about. Okay? So let's look at what is in the information bulletin. Okay? It tells you that it's an online test. Okay? And the time period is about 3 hours. 3 hours is 180 minutes. Okay? So during the course of 180 minutes, you need to cover 125 objective type questions. So 125 questions in 180 minutes. Okay. So how many questions are you need to cover in a minute? So that would be about 1.44 minutes. In that 1.44 minute, you need to cover one question. Okay. So you need to answer one question in about 1.44 minutes. Okay, and that question, what's the type of the question? It's an objective type question. Okay, meaning you would have 4 options. So you have a question, and that question would have 4 options. Okay, and you need to choose one option. So one option would be the correct answer to the question. So you need to read the question, understand the question, recall what you know about the question, and then you need to answer, frame the answer in your mind, and then you need to select the option. So this process, to do this process, you have 1.44 minutes. Okay. If you overshoot 1.44 minutes, then you won't be able to answer your target of 125 questions. Okay. And if you don't take 1.44 minutes, you take less than 1.44 minutes, it means you have got time to relax. Okay? So that is the pressure that one is under. Okay? So one has got very less time to prepare, and one needs to be very productive when one answers the question. One has to be one has to be able to manage time. Okay. So our strategy here is to to study efficiently. And why do we want to study efficiently? Because then we would be able to answer the questions. Okay. How do we answer the questions? It has to be correct. Okay. Because for only correct responses fetches us marks. If we give an incorrect choice, our total score decreases. Okay. So this strategy enables us to study efficiently so that we are able to answer the questions correctly. Okay, and that translates to a good score. And if we have a very good score, it maximizes the chances of us entering into renowned institutions. Okay. Now, if we get into renowned institutions, what's the good thing about that? It means you have your option of being placed increases exponentially. Okay? And if you graduate out of a renowned institution, your market value increases. Okay? So that is the end point of your preparation for the graduate pharmacy aptitude test. Okay. Okay. Now that we know our goal, let's look at what are the things that we need to buy. So let's make a budget. So in budget, we need to buy certain essential things. And what are the essential things? We need to lay a budget for books, guides, previous question papers. Okay. So we need a budget, a working budget of about 3,000 rupees for the books, guides, and question papers. Okay. What books we'll discuss. We need notebooks. So notebooks, don't buy the small, meant for schools. Okay. The small ones. No. Okay. Then there is one called a long exercise book. Okay, that is too long. So that also wouldn't be optimal. Okay, so the optimum one would be something like which is an A4 size kind of, okay, a college notebook. Okay, so that would be ideal. Okay, so you need to purchase at least 13 notebooks. Okay, so at about 50 per notebook, that would be somewhere in the range of 650 rupees. Okay. Then you need colored pens, okay, at 60 rupees per pen. Um, assume you have 6 colors, that would be about 360 rupees. Okay. So if we add this up, uh, that would be roughly about 4,000 rupees. Okay. Okay. So that is the minimum budget that one needs to set aside for an optimal preparation. Okay. Next, we'll discuss each of these separately. Okay. So the question is which books to consider buying. Okay. So in the Indian market, you can check the online markets. There are really good books written by respected authors, specifically for GPAT. Okay. So they publish them as guides, uh, review books, etc. Okay. So the make sure you get whatever big books are available. So the overlying idea being that the guides or the books that you buy should have lots of MCQs. Okay, because that ties in with our strategy. Okay, so what's an MCQ? Multiple choice questions. Okay, so we don't need much of a theory, but we need lots and lots of multiple choice questions. And the number that we need cannot be satisfied by one book. Okay, so that's the reason we need to buy at least 3 books. Okay. And we need to buy previous question papers. Okay. So before GPAT was introduced as a format, the pharmaceutical sciences where the aptitude was tested under GATE. Okay. So there are books available in pharmaceutical sciences catered towards GATE. So you need to purchase those, okay, because GATE had really good questions. So there are books which are published having question papers which are previously asked in GATE. So specific books for GPAT as well as question papers for GATE needs to be purchased. And if you buy about 3 big books and maybe 1 or 2 question papers in of GATE specific to pharmaceutical sciences, it would well remain within the budget that we have set previously. Okay. So the notebooks that we purchase, it should be blank. We don't want ruled ones because blank gives us a blank canvas to work with, and it works really good. Okay, so next question is, why do we need colored pens? Now, if you look at the world, our perception of the world is in color, okay, for the majority of us. And so why should our notebook be any different? So that's the reason why we need to have lots of color pens, because it makes our notes attractive, readable, and it highlights the most important points. Okay. So this is the basic tool set that we would need to have a really killer strategy to prepare ourselves for the GPAT examinations. Okay. All right. So now let's put these things in context. So we have asked ourselves to buy 13 notebooks. So why do we need 13 notebooks? Okay. So the reason is that if we look at the subjects and we find this list in the syllabus, and this is of GPAT. In the syllabus, these 18 subjects are listed. Okay, 18 subjects are listed. Now, if we look at it, there are some subjects that can be studied together. Okay, for instance, microbiology, biopharmaceutics, dispensing. This can be studied under pharmaceutics. Okay, so we need just one notebook for that subject, and it would encompass these subjects as well. Okay, so that's the reason 13 notebooks should suffice. Okay, so we need 13 notebooks. Okay, now. So why do we need these notebooks? What are we going to write? Okay, is the next question. So let's consider a small example here. Okay, say toxicity. So this is the question. Okay, toxicity of acetaminophen is due to, and we have these options. Okay, so the third option being an acetylcysteine. Okay. The other example is an acetyl benzoquinone amine. Okay, an acetyl para benzoquinone imine. Okay. And then we have naloxone. Okay. And we have acrolein. Okay. So this is a typical question, an MCQ. All right? Okay. So assume that I am a potential PG applicant for the GPAT program, and this is the question that I'm facing, and I don't have a clue. Okay, and I'm studying this question. I'm preparing for my GPAT, and this is the question that is before me. Now, I don't have a clue of either of them. Okay, so then what do? I refer. Okay, so I refer what is naloxone, and I write it down in my notebook. Okay, okay, the options. Then I look into this, and I get the reference that this is the compound that is responsible for the toxicity of acetaminophen. So that's the answer to my question. Okay, so I can write down the answer to the question. So first thing, what do? I write the question in my notebook. Benzoquinonimine. Okay, NaPQI. Okay, so this is the first point that I write in my notebook. The second thing I write is about naloxone. Okay, and I understand that naloxone is an opioid antagonist. Okay. And N-acetylcysteine I refer, and I find out that N-acetylcysteine is an antidote administered in acetaminophen poisoning. Okay. And I understand that acrolein is a metabolite of cyclophosphamide. It's produced when cyclophosphamide or rifosfamide is administered. Okay. And the toxicity of cyclophosphamide is due to acrolein. Okay. So remember what I have done. I've looked into the question and I wrote the actual answer of the question in my notebook. And for each of the options, I referred. And whatever I referred, I wrote it in my notebook. Okay? So this is the information that I have in my notebook. Okay? So in effect, what has happened is, I have studied one question, but in studying one question, I have actually studied 4 points. Okay, the 4 options. So I now know 4 pieces of information, and whatever I learn, I put that in my notebook. So this is my notes. So for each of the question that I learn, I make this kind of notes. I jot down this kind of notes in my notebook. Okay, I don't dirty my textbook. I don't tick in the option in my textbook. The reason why we'll come back to this later. Okay. All right. So I have got this 18 subjects. Okay. So now what is my plan? Okay, so we need to draw the plan. Okay, so the plan, the overlying idea is that I will cover each subject every day. Okay. So this is my target. Okay, I'm going to cover each subject every day. Now this looks very daunting because there are 18 subjects. So how do you start? Okay, so that is the reason why we need a book with lots of MCQs. Okay, so that's the reason why we bought these big fat books. Okay, they have got lots of MCQs, and the good thing is, because these books are specific to GPAT, The questions are they are listed under subject headings. Okay? So there would be questions, for example, under pharmacology, under pharmaceutics, under medicinal chemistry, so on and so forth. Okay? So the plan would be to cover. So let's put the first the strategy that we are going to employ. Okay? So our target is to solve 10 MCQs per subject per day. Okay, so this is the target under which we're going to work. Okay, so 10 MCQs per subject per day. Now, if we look into that, if there are 18 subjects, that means we need to solve 180 MCQs per subject per day. Okay, but as we have seen above, when we study one question, we are basically learning 4 questions. Okay, so in effect, if we are able to solve 180 questions, it means we are basically learning 720 points. Okay, so when we solve 180 questions, basically we are learning 720 important points, which we are going to note down in our notebook. Okay, so that's the reason why we need about 13 notebooks. Okay, so each subject and each subject and related subject. Okay, so we've got 2 sets, individual subjects and subjects which are related to each other. So for these we need an individual notebook. Okay, we need individual notebook. Okay, so that's the target, 10 MCQs per subject per day, and we're going to learn each option. Okay, so each option in detail, and we're going to get this into our system. Okay, so from this, what would be striking us is that this is not the way that we prepare for regular B.Pharm examinations. So for B.Pharm examinations, what do? We have got a subject, we've got a topic. So what do? We refer to the topic in a textbook, and then we try to make notes, we try to solve questions, and that's how we learn when it's a subjective examination like your B.Pharm examination. Okay, but the preparation for the GPAT is a different ball game altogether. Okay, so remember, why are we doing this? Because we are going to be asked MCQs. Okay, we are going to be asked MCQs, and we are going to be asked to solve these MCQs. We are asked to solve these MCQs in the minimum possible time. Okay, so how can we do this? We can do this if we can recall the matter in the minimum possible time, meaning we get ourselves filled with facts. Okay, and the easiest way to get facts into the system is by subjecting ourselves to a study like we mentioned just so above. Okay, so this is the strategy that needs to be adopted for GPAT. Okay, so this is the reason why we said preparation for GPAT is not like preparing for B.Pharm. Okay, it's entirely different. So most of the students, they the reason that they fail to get a very high score is that they continue to prepare for the GPAT as they have prepared for the B.Pharm examination. Okay, and that's the problem, that they are not able to recall the material in the minimum possible time. Okay, so if these students who have prepared like they have prepared for B.Pharm, if they are given a significant amount of time, then they would be able to score better. But the design of the experiment does not suit that kind of a preparation. Okay, so this is the time-tested and student-tested strategy that needs to be employed. Okay, but having said this, you need to remember, you could ask the question. Okay, so say what's our target here? About 180 MCQs per subject per day. Now 180 MCQs. Assume each MCQ you're spending about 5 minutes. So you need to spend about 900 minutes, okay, per day. Okay, so 900 minutes per day, if you do a bit of a calculation, is how many hours? That would be divided by 60, right? Okay, so that is about 15 hours a day. Okay, so that comes to about 15 hours a day. Okay, would one be able to realistically spend 15 hours a day? Well, if your target is excellence, you need to hit that target. Can you do it? Yes, you can do it. Is it difficult? Oh, what are you thinking of? It is difficult. Okay. But this is, if someone manages to do this, this is a strategy for excellence. Okay. So you could ask, can I spend less amount of time per day? Yes, you can. But your score, statistically, your score would not be as much as a student who prepares like that. Okay? And then you ask yourself, okay, I spend less time than that. I get into a low-ranked institution. Wouldn't I be successful? Well, history shows us that people who have graduated from average institutions have excelled. Okay, there is no doubt. Okay, there have been many students who did that, who went that way, and they excelled. But statistically, you got more chance of hitting that target if you aim for excellence. Okay. But having said that, that is the choice that you need to make. Okay, am I going to commit myself to this kind of punishing schedule, or am I going to take things easy? That's the choice that an individual student needs to make. Okay, but remember, if you if you work towards excellence, then the rewards would also be excellent. Okay, so that's the choice that the individual student needs to make. Okay, so no one can guarantee that if you do this, you're going to, achieve glory, or if you go less than that, you're going to be disappointed. No, but the chances that you would be satisfied it leans towards preparation for excellence. Okay. And so this is the kind of target that students who have really excelled have gone through. Okay, and so this is the strategy. Okay, there are no shortcuts. Lots of hard work, lots of sweat. Okay, and the reward is really, uh, you'd be enjoying the fruits of your labor all your life. Okay. So in this short presentation, um, from my experience with students and my own preparation, this is the strategy that I have arrived at, which has really paid off. Okay. So if a student manages to follow these guidelines and innovate on the way, then the chances of really making yourself proud is well within your grasp. Okay. So with that summary, I would like to wish all the students who are going to attempt this very demanding test all the very best. Okay. And I would also like to request you to comment below if you've got other strategies that have worked for you. You have advice towards which books to buy, and if you have the names of those books which have helped you, please put it in the comment below this video, so that it can be helpful to all potential aspirants. Okay, and if you have been able to really excel in your studies, please feel free to share your story too in the comments. Okay, it should motivate all the potential new generation of students who are going to see this strategy video, and then they would be able to chalk out their blueprint for success in this GPAT examinations. Okay, so once more, wishing all the aspirants the very best. I would like to conclude this short presentation. Thank you for your kind attention. I would like to add the following points as a postscript. Now, our target was 180 MCQs per subject per day. Okay, so you can increase this. So we have hit 10. We have arrived at this number by looking at 10 MCQs per subject per day. Okay. So the next day you can increment the 10 by maybe 5. Okay. So if you continue to do that, in the end what's going to happen is your speed is going to dramatically increase. Okay. So the number of questions that you solve, your brain gets tuned to solving MCQs, and so you'd be able to, if you gradually increment the number of questions that you handle per subject per day, if you increase it by small increments, your speed would definitely increase. Okay, so work for 5 days, and the 2 days that you get in a week, the weekends, you could use it for review. Okay, so review of what you have learned throughout the 5 days. Okay, so during the time that you spend for review, you can refer to additional textbooks. Okay, where you refer to points which you get nagging doubts, you can clear all those doubts. Okay, and the time that we're going to spend is about 15 hours a day. Okay, so make sure you're not distracted. Okay, and understand your brain. You are able to concentrate a maximum about 20 minutes. Okay, so you are able to focus your attention for a time span of about 20 minutes. And so make sure that you take breaks, okay, and you change the subject, okay. So work with your brain, okay. If you tax yourself with the same subject for more than 20 minutes, your brain kind of wanders all over the place. Okay? So give yourself a break, change the subject, reduce the monotonicity, and keep away from all things that can distract you while you're studying. Okay, especially your phone. Okay, you can put it in a silent mode, or keep it physically away from you, because you need to hit this kind of a very demanding target. Okay, it's a sacrifice that if you make, it may pay off well, right? Okay, so you have done all these things, and now you've got a clean book, okay, because you did not scribble down the answers in that book. So what after you finish your study and you complete your review, you have got 2 days, right? So this review shouldn't take you 2 days. Okay, so you take less than 2 days for your review. After you complete your review, what you do is you test yourself on the questions. Okay, so now you got this clean book. So now what you do is you already know the answers. Now you try to solve the same questions without resorting to looking into your notebook. Okay, because the assumption is you have already reviewed it in this day that you were free. So now look into this clean textbook and solve the same problems. Okay. So now if you have studied properly, you'll find the answers jumping at you. Okay. So the moment you look into the question, you already know the answer. All right. So the solution would jump at you. Okay. Because the facts are now within you. Okay. And then you'll find that your speed of retrieving information has dramatically increased. Okay, has dramatically increased, and that was your target, right? You were trying to solve maximum MCQs in the minimum amount of time, and you were trying to study all the subjects per day, and you have now at the end of this, you'll find that your speed has increased. You are solving questions from all subjects. Okay, so once you hit this kind of a system, a feedback system, your confidence would increase, and you would understand, that you are learning the facts. You can check yourself on the facts. Okay, because you're doing this, you know how much you have learned, and when you do this and you find there are few questions which you have a doubt, then this time you have time to review those questions again. Okay, so at the end of a week, your learning has now become scientific, focused, and you have been able to hit the target that you intended to hit in the first place. Okay, so with that small postscript, let's end this strategy presentation. Thank you again.